Hi, it's April again here from uncookiecutter.com, and I am here to show you how to make a schedule a cleaning schedule printable. Um, I'm sort of new at making printables, so I haven't really done this before, but this is just kind of a video tutorial to take you along on how I figured it out and what you can do. So first I just started in PicMonkey, so I went to picmonkey.com. It's a free site that you can go to do all kind of photo editing and all that kind of stuff. So what I did was go to design, and it's going to bring up a blank canvas like this. And the first thing I did was I wanted to change the size of my paper to fit a standard sheet of paper. So I went to this website, which is picmonkey.com, help articles. You can just search for standard photo print sizes, and this you should be able to find this article. But it comes up and it tells you if you want a size paper, what size pixels you should have. So since I wanted to do this on an 8x10 piece of paper, I did the 2400 by 3000 pixels. So I'm going to head back into PicMonkey now and go down here to resize and change it to 2400. Going to uncheck keep proportions and then 3000 there. Hit apply, and now that should be a standard size sheet of paper. The next thing I did was I went ahead and added a border just to make it a little prettier. You can do all different kind of borders. I like to keep mine a little simple, but you can do all kinds of fancy borders when you come in here. And so I just did a little, this is the same border I use for all my pictures on my website. And then I just started adding content. So the first thing I did was go to overlays, which is this little butterfly right here. It has all different kinds of overlays. I went down to banners, and I picked this one. And what it will do is just pop up here. And then you can resize it to any size you want. You can bring it right there and sort of center it and get it where you want it. Just like so. And you can actually take this little fade button and go back and forth however you want, if you want it a little lighter, or you can change the color of it here to make it whatever color you like. I'm just going to leave it gray. And the next thing I did was add the title to that. So if you go into where the T's are over here, that's for text. And I used shadows into light for this tutorial, but they've got all kinds of scripts you can add in here. When it has this little thing, that's a paid service, this little crown here, but you can see they've got tons of free options. So you click on add text, you come over here and you type in whatever it is that you want to type. Actually, I think for my title I used downcome, and then I used shadows into light for the rest of it. So just typed it in like this. And brought it up here, and then I just resized it to fit this little border here. Just kind of pull and play around with it a little bit until you get it to where you want it. And if you center it here and then put your little borders on either side, it should come down to the size that you want it and be perfectly centered in your banner. So once you kind of get that where you want it, you can again change the color to anything you want. And then easy peasy, done with that. Then what I did just to kind of center it up, because PicMonkey doesn't have a ruler or anything, so I added a line. I just went to dashed in line here and just added a sort of simple line in the middle of the page, just so I would know where the middle was. Usually take it over here to the side and make sure I'm nice and straight. And since I know my banner centered, I just clicked on it, And that little circle there shows me the center of the page, so I'm just going to try to bring it over until I'm right on that circle, and that should be right in the middle of the page. And then I can extend it down. So now I've got kind of a fake border that I'll erase later. Just check again, make sure, and just bring it over just a touch, right there, I think. And that looks like I'm pretty much in the middle. Then what I did was I added the days of the week. So I just went into add text again, and this is where I used shadows into light, centered it, and for the text I think I used a size of 100, and I started typing it in, and I just did days of the week. So I typed 1 and then close the text box down, and then you can just right click on it and hit duplicate text, and I just made one for every day of the week. That way they would all be the same size. Did that. So I put my everyday up here at the top for my chores that I wanted to do every day, and again I can put that little circle right on my line so that way I know it's centered. And then if I want to center these, I just take 1, bring it over, and then just drag my line to that center line, and now it's centered on that column. So I just did this for every one, like so. And then you can go back and change those days of the weeks, and you can write in whatever you want there. So for these, let me do one more real quick. Right click, duplicate text, and then I just brought it right there. So then I go in and I change it to change the days of the week. Oops. I always forget how to spell Wednesday. Isn't that weird? Since I was a little kid. And then for this last one, I just put weekend because I don't tend to get as much stuff done on the weekend. So there's that. And then what I did was just to make sure that I had those kind of in order as I went back, and I added these little things. I duplicated those 3 times. And then I just sort of centered everything up on them. And that way I can sort of see where my words are and see where I want them to be. And then you can grab the text. Whoops. Sometimes it's hard to kind of grab the text from behind the pictures, but grab it and then you can put it right sort of where you want it on there. And that way everything is lined up nice and straight. Move this one down just a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. And then you can just delete these if you want. So then what I did was I went and added, I wanted to have a different room for each day of the week. So I started by making this a little bit smaller than the last one. So I put it at 87, and I just put in the different days of the week. So just like that, and then I just put it kind of underneath the day of the week and sort of right there. And then you can do that all the way down for all of them. I did like bedrooms for one day and whatever. The next thing I did was, just to break it up a little bit, I went back into my overlays, geometric, and I added a banner like so. And I just got it to fade. I did fade a little bit. You can also just right click on it and hit send to back. But then you just have to think about the color of your text and how all that's going to work. And then I just picked a color that I wanted and just sort of played around in there. I can't remember exactly what I did for this one. I think it was somewhere around in there. And then I just right click on it again, duplicate it after I get it to the color I want, and then I brought it down so that it's a little more broken up. It just gives me a little definition between my days of the week. Again, you can do any color you want there. And then for my check marks, what I did was I actually opened another tab and I went back to PicMonkey and I need to design my own. Change the colors again, the size again to the same size I had before. Then I went to overlays. If you go down to correction marks, they had a little box in here that I thought was cute, so I decided to use that. And then what I did was I sized it way down. I can't remember. I think it was about like that big. I wanted to kind of get it. I resized the piece of paper so I could sort of see how big I needed it. And then I zoomed in a little bit. So yeah, that's about what size I wanted. So I duplicated that 7 times. I thought about 7 per day would be good, because if I do more than 7 chores per day, then I'll be really, really impressed with myself. So that's 6 and then 7. And then I, again, took a line. Tried to get it nice and straight. Oh, still a little crooked. Kind of hard. The only thing about PicMonkey is it doesn't really have any rulers or anything like that, so it makes it hard to do things like this. And then I just lined these up like so until I had all 7 of them in a nice little line here. And then where you get them right where you want them. Oops. That one. Then I deleted this line here. I can then go into this little cropping tool and I cropped it. Just kind of like that. And then the only other thing is you want to go into Canvas Color and click Transparent Canvas. Then you save this one. And you can make those a little straighter if you need to. So I saved it as check marks or something like that. And I've already done this, so I'm not going to save it again, but you would just hit save there. And then when you come back in here, if you go into the overlay section and add your own, you can pull up that little check mark. And what it does is just it brings it to this page, and then you can just plop it right in there. And if you need to make it a little bigger or a little smaller, you can do that. So I just kind of got this one the size I wanted it. And then I hit duplicate. Oh, I duplicated the wrong overlay. Sometimes I have to move this one out of the way. So just redid that one a bunch of times and then brought it down to the different areas that it went to. So pretty easy there. So that's a pretty, and then if you want, sorry, one more thing, you can add some more little check marks up at the top here. Just for like my everyday, I just sort of added them randomly up here at the top. And I just added a bunch up here for my everyday tasks. And then the only other thing I did, just to give myself sort of a definition on the laundry, again, there's tons of different overlays you can add in here, but I just added this one. I don't know why, just thought it was kind of funny. So I put it here, sized it down a little bit, and I just added a text, centered it up, and typed in laundry here, and then just kind of put it in that little spot there. And that way I had like a little laundry button each day that kind of helps me. You can again bring the sides in so it's nice and centered. And then I just copied that and pasted it on each day. And that was pretty much it for the cleaning schedule. So you could do that and customize it however you wanted, with whatever days you wanted, whatever rooms. Oh, the only other thing I did was I did take this out. Again, you could leave that on if you wanted to. I can't remember actually if I left it on or not. You could bring it down and then you have like a divider there. Maybe I did that. Or you could, you know, not have your laundry. You could do whatever colors you wanted. You could make a nice pretty border. But that's just kind of a general idea of what I did. And again, if you want the template of the one that I saved, you can go back to the website and just get a template and add in your cleaning schedule. So anyway, thanks so much for following along.